Dr. Helen Burke looked at the screens in front of her. The green lights showed everything was normal on Haven's Rest. It was a good day. The sun was bright, and the crops were growing well. 50,000 people lived on this world, far from Earth. They had made a good life here. Helen worked as the colony's doctor and also watched the communication systems. Every day she checked messages from other human worlds. Today felt different. The messages had stopped coming. That's strange, she said to herself. The nearby star systems always sent daily reports. Today, there was nothing. Helen tried calling them, but no one answered. Commander Jake Morrison walked into the room. He was in charge of keeping the colonies safe. Jake was a big man with gray hair and worried eyes. "Helen, what's wrong?" Jake asked. "You look upset." "The other colonies aren't talking to us," Helen said. "I can't reach anyone. It's like they all disappeared." Jake sat down next to her. "Maybe their equipment broke. All of them. At the same time." Helen shook her head. Something bad happened. Outside, Lisa Grant was working in the fields. She took care of the farm systems that fed everyone. The plants were healthy and green. Children played between the rows of corn. Everything looked peaceful, but Lisa felt something was wrong too. The animals were acting strange. The birds had stopped singing. Even the insects were quiet. Nature always knew when danger was coming. Danny, Wright, was only 19 years old. He worked with the big communication dish that could send messages across space. Danny loved his job. He dreamed of talking to people on distant worlds. Today, Danny was trying to fix a problem with the system. The equipment kept making strange noises. Then the screens started showing warning signs. Something big was coming toward their world. "Dr. Burke," Danny called out. "You need to see this." Helen ran to Danny's station. On the screen, she saw red dots moving toward Haven's Rest. They were huge, much bigger than any human ship. "How many?" Helen asked. 20 ships, Danny said. His voice was shaking. "Maybe more. They're really big." Jake came running when he heard the alarm. He looked at the screen and his face went white. "Those aren't human ships." The alien ships came out of nowhere. They were black and twisted, like giant insects made of metal. They had strange curves and points that hurt to look at. The ships were alive somehow, moving like they were breathing. Helen tried to send a message to the alien ships. "This is Haven's Rest colony. We are peaceful people. Please respond." The aliens did not answer for a long time. Then a voice came through the speakers. It was cold and harsh, like metal scraping against stone. "This world belongs to the Zelkan hierarchy now. You will surrender or die." Jake grabbed the microphone. "We want to talk. We can work together." "Talking is useless," the alien voice said. "You are weak. Your kind pollutes this world. We will clean it." The first explosion shook the ground. Helen looked outside and saw fire falling from the sky. The aliens were shooting at the main town. Buildings exploded and burned. People screamed and ran for safety. "Get everyone to the underground shelters," Jake shouted. Lisa ran from the fields, helping children and old people reach the safe places under the ground. The alien weapons were terrible. They turned everything they touched into ash and smoke. Danny stayed at his station, trying to send a message to Earth. The communication dish was damaged, but it still worked a little bit. His hands moved fast over the controls. "I can send one message," Danny said, "but it will take weeks to reach Earth." "Do it," Helen said. "Tell them what happened here." Danny typed as fast as he could. Outside, more explosions shook the building. Pieces of the ceiling fell down around them. "Haven's Rest under attack," Danny typed. "Alien ships destroyed our world. 50,000 people in danger. They call themselves Zelkan hierarchy. Ships are huge and alive. They want to kill all humans. Please help us. This is our last message." Danny hit the send button just as the building started to fall apart. The three of them ran toward the underground tunnels. Behind them, the communication center exploded. In flames, in the tunnels, hundreds of people sat in the dark. Children cried while their parents held them tight. The old people remembered stories of wars on Earth, but this was different. This was the end of everything they had built. Helen found a small light and looked around. Many people were hurt. She started helping them, but there wasn't much she could do. They needed real hospitals, not underground caves. Above them, the alien ships kept shooting. The sound was like thunder that never stopped. Sometimes dirt fell from the ceiling when the explosions were close. Jake counted the people in the tunnel. Only 3,000 had made it to safety. The rest were still outside, or worse. He had failed to protect them. What do they want? Lisa asked. They want us gone, Jake said. They think we don't belong here? Hours passed. The shooting finally stopped. Everything became quiet. Too quiet. Danny found a small radio that still worked. He climbed up to look outside. The town was gone, where houses and schools used to be. There was only black ash and smoking holes. The alien ships hung in the sky like dark clouds. Smaller ships flew around the planet, looking for any humans who were still alive. They're hunting us, Danny whispered when he came back down. Helen held a crying child in her arms. The little girl asked when they could go home. Helen didn't know what to say. There was no home anymore. Did the message get out? Jake asked. Danny nodded. It's on its way to Earth, but it will take 3 weeks to get there. Will they come help us? The little girl asked. Helen looked at the scared faces around her. These people needed hope, even if she didn't have much herself. Yes, Helen said. Earth will come. They always come for their people. But Helen knew the truth. By the time Earth got the message, Haven's Rest would be empty. The Zelkins would make sure of that. Outside, the alien ships waited like hungry wolves. They had all the time in the world. The humans were trapped underground, with no food, no water, and no weapons. Haven's Rest had been humanity's greatest success. Now it was their greatest tragedy. But somewhere in space, a small radio signal traveled toward Earth, carrying with it the last words of a dying world. 3 weeks later, the message from Haven's Rest reached Earth. It came in the middle of the night, when most people were sleeping, but the people who watched for messages from space never slept. Admiral Lisa Chen was drinking coffee in her office when the alarm sounded. She was in charge of Earth's space navy. Lisa had gray hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. She had been a soldier for 30 years. The young officer who brought her the message was shaking. Admiral, you need to read this right away. Lisa read Danny's message 3 times. Each time, it got worse. An alien race had attacked Haven's Rest. 50,000 people were probably dead. The aliens called themselves the Zelkin hierarchy. Get me, President Cole, Lisa said. Right now. President Nathan Cole was a calm man who never got excited about anything. But when Lisa called him at 3 in the morning, his voice was tight with worry. How bad is it? Nathan asked. The worst thing that ever happened to humans, Lisa said. We need to meet now. 1 hour later, the most powerful people on Earth sat around a table. President Cole, Admiral Chen, and the heads of every military branch. They all looked tired and scared. Dr. Sam Rodriguez was there too. He studied alien life, even though humans had never found any before. Sam was a thin man with thick glasses who knew more about space than anyone else. Show them the message, Nathan said. Lisa played Danny's recording. The room became very quiet. When it finished, no one spoke for a long time. How far away is Haven's Rest? The Army General asked. 3 months by our fastest ships, Lisa said. So this happened 3 months ago, the General said. They're probably all dead by now. Dr. Rodriguez raised his hand. The message says the alien ships were huge and alive. That's not normal. Most ships are made of metal and plastic. These sound like something else. What kind of something else? Nathan asked. Bioships, Sam said. Ships that are grown, not built, like giant space animals that can think and fight. The idea made everyone uncomfortable. Humans made ships from steel and computers. The thought of living ships was scary. What? Do we know about their weapons? The Navy Admiral asked. Lisa read from the message again. They destroyed the main town in minutes. The survivors hid underground. That means the weapons are very powerful. More powerful than ours, Nathan asked. Probably, Lisa said. Haven's Rest had good defenses. If these aliens destroyed them so fast, they have better technology than us. The room fell quiet again. Everyone was thinking the same thing. If these aliens could destroy Haven's Rest so easily, what could they do to Earth? We need more information, Nathan said. Send a ship to see what happened. I'll go, said a voice from the back of the room. Everyone turned to look at Captain Amy Foster. She was young for a ship captain, only 35 years old. Amy had black hair and determined eyes. She commanded the UES Vengeance, Earth's newest and best warship. The Vengeance has the best stealth systems, Amy said. We can get close without being seen. It's too dangerous, Lisa said. If they catch you, then we'll fight, Amy said. But first we'll find out what happened to our people. Nathan looked around the table. All in favor of the reconnaissance mission. Every hand went up. There's something else, Nathan said. If Haven's Rest is gone, we need to prepare for war. Real war. The word hung in the air like smoke. Humans had fought each other many times, but never against aliens. This was different. This was about survival. What kind of preparation? The Army general asked. Everything, Nathan said. Build more ships, make better weapons, train more soldiers. If these aliens want to fight, we'll give them one. Dr. Rodriguez looked worried. Sir, if their technology is better than ours, building more ships might not help. Then we'll have to be smarter, Nathan said. Humans are good at that. Over the next few days, Earth changed. Every shipyard started working day and night. Factories that made cars started making weapons instead. Young people lined up to join the military. Captain Amy Foster prepared her ship for the long trip to Haven's Rest. The UES Vengeance was beautiful and deadly. It had the most advanced computers, the strongest armor, and weapons that could destroy small moons. But Amy knew it might not be enough. The aliens had destroyed an entire colony in hours. Her ship was just one vessel against an unknown enemy. The night before she left, Amy called her sister on Mars. They talked about normal things like family and work. Amy didn't tell her sister she might never come home. Take care of yourself, her sister said. I always do, Amy lied. Dr. Rodriguez came to see the ship before it left. He brought special equipment to study alien technology, if they found any. What if they're still there? Amy asked. Then run, Sam said. Don't try to fight them. Just learn what you can and come home. And if there are survivors. Sam was quiet for a moment. Save who you can, but don't get everyone killed trying to be a hero. Admiral Chen came to see Amy off. The older woman looked tired. She had been working without sleep for 3 days. The whole human race is counting on you, Lisa said. No pressure, Amy said with a small smile. Bring them home, Lisa said. Whatever it takes. The UES Vengeance left Earth on a Tuesday morning. Amy stood on the bridge and watched her home planet get smaller. Earth looked blue and peaceful from space. It was hard to believe it might be in danger. The trip would take 4 weeks. 4 weeks to think about what they might find. 4 weeks to prepare for the worst thing humans had ever faced. On Earth, President Cole spoke to the world. He told everyone about Haven's Rest and the alien threat. He asked people to be brave and work together. Some people panicked. They tried to leave Earth or hide in deep bunkers. But most people got angry. Haven's Rest was their colony. Those were their people who died. Factories worked around the clock. Scientists worked on new weapons. Soldiers trained for battles they had never imagined. Admiral Chen stood in the command center and watched ships being built. Soon Earth would have the largest fleet in human history. It might not be enough, but it was all they could do. How long? Until the fleet is ready, she asked her assistant. 6 months for full deployment, he said. The aliens might not wait that long, Lisa said. Then we'll fight with what we have, the assistant said. Lisa nodded. That was the human way. Fight with whatever you had, even if it wasn't enough, far away in space. The U's Vengeance flew toward Haven's Rest. Captain Foster and her crew knew they were probably flying toward their deaths, but they flew anyway, because that's what humans did. When their people were in trouble, they came running, even when they were afraid, even when they might die. The aliens had made a mistake. They thought humans were weak because they lived on one small planet. They didn't understand that humans never forgot their friends. They were about to learn. 4 weeks later, the UES Vengeance reached the Haven's Rest system. Captain Amy Foster stood on the bridge and looked at the screens. What she saw made her sick. The beautiful blue planet was brown and gray now. Smoke rose from huge craters where cities used to be. The green farms were gone. The rivers looked black. How many alien ships? Amy asked. Lieutenant Ben Clark checked his instruments. Ben was young, but very good at finding enemies. 12 big ships in orbit, maybe 30 smaller ones flying around the planet. Amy felt her heart sink. Even if the Vengeance was the best human ship ever built, it couldn't fight that many enemies. Any signs of human life? She asked. Ben worked at his computer for several minutes. Wait, I'm getting something. Very weak signals from underground. There might be people still alive down there. Amy made a decision that went against her orders. She was supposed to watch and report back to Earth. She wasn't supposed to rescue anyone. Chief Martinez, can you get us down there without being seen? Chief Engineer Rosa Martinez was the best engineer in the human fleet. She could make the ship do things that weren't in the manual. Rosa had worked on spaceships her whole life. The stealth system will hide us from most scanners, Rosa said. But if we get too close to those big ships, they'll see us. How close is too close? About 50,000 kilometers. Amy looked at the planet. The life signs were coming from the surface. To rescue anyone, they would have to go much closer than 50,000 kilometers. We're going in, Amy said. Captain, that's suicide, Ben said. Those are our people down there, Amy said. We don't leave our people behind. The Vengeance moved slowly toward the planet. The stealth system made them almost invisible, but Amy knew the alien ships were very advanced. If they were unlucky, the mission would end quickly as they got closer. Amy could see the damage better. Entire cities were gone. The capital city of New Detroit had been home to 20,000 people. Now it was just a black crater. Life signs are stronger, Ben said. Definitely human. They're in underground tunnels about 50 kilometers from the old capital. The alien ships patrolling the planet looked like giant bugs made of black metal. They moved in ways that seemed wrong, like they were swimming through space instead. A flying dot. Rosa brought the ship down through the atmosphere. They hid in a mountain range far from the alien patrols. Amy took a small team to find the survivors. What they found in the tunnels broke Amy's heart. 300 people lived in the dark, wet caves. They were hungry and sick. Many were hurt from the original attack weeks ago. Dr. Helen Burke was still alive. She had been taking care of the injured people with almost no medical supplies. Helen looked much older than she had a month ago. Are you real? Helen asked when she saw Amy. We're real, Amy said. We came from Earth. Helen started crying. I told them Earth would come. I told them you wouldn't forget us. Amy learned what had happened. The aliens had destroyed everything on the surface. They killed anyone they found. The survivors had been hiding underground, eating emergency food that was almost gone. How many people lived here? Amy asked. 50,000, Helen said quietly. Amy looked around the cave. 300 survivors out of 50,000 people. The aliens had murdered almost everyone. We need to get you out of here, Amy said. All of us? Helen asked. All of us. Getting 300 people to the ship without being seen was almost impossible, but Rosa had an idea. She used the ship's systems to create fake heat signals that looked like animals moving around, while the alien ships chased the fake signals. Amy's team moved the survivors to the Vengeance. It took 6 hours. Every minute, Amy expected alien ships to find them, but they made it. All 300 people were safe on the ship. Dr. Helen Burke told Amy everything she had learned about the aliens. The Zelkins didn't just want to kill humans. They wanted to erase all proof that humans had ever existed. They think we're dirty, Helen said. They called us organic pollution. They want to clean the galaxy of species like us. What are their ships like? Amy asked. Alive? Helen said. The ships are actually giant creatures. They can heal damage and change shape. When our weapons hit them, they just grew new parts. This was bad news. Human weapons were designed to break metal and computers. If the alien ships could heal themselves, human weapons might not work at all. Amy decided to test this. She found a small alien ship flying alone near one of the moons. The Vengeance attacked it with missiles and energy weapons. Ben watched the results on his screens. Direct hits. The ship is damaged, but... Wait. The holes are closing up. It's fixing itself. Amy's heart sank. If human weapons couldn't permanently damage alien ships, how could Earth fight them? But then something interesting happened. The alien ship tried to run away. Even though it was healing, it was still afraid. It's hurt, Rosa said. Maybe not permanently, but it's definitely hurt. Amy had an idea. If the ships could heal, maybe they could be hurt enough to stop fighting. Maybe humans didn't need to destroy them completely. She ordered more attacks on the small ship. Each time, the ship was hurt and tried to escape. After the 4th attack, the ship stopped moving entirely. Is it dead? Ben asked. I don't think so, Amy said. I think it's unconscious. Like when a person gets hurt so badly they can't stay awake. This was important information. The alien ships could be defeated, but it would take multiple hits. Earth's fleet would need to concentrate their fire on individual ships. Amy wanted to capture the unconscious alien ship and bring it back to Earth. But before she could do anything, 3 large alien ships appeared. They're coming straight for us, Ben said. Run, Amy ordered. The Vengeance flew away as fast as it could. The alien ships chased them, but the human ship was faster. After several hours, they escaped. Amy had learned many important things. The aliens could be hurt, but their ships healed quickly. They were afraid of being damaged, and most importantly, there were still humans alive who needed to be saved. But she had also learned something terrifying. When the big alien ships arrived, her computers had counted them. There weren't just 12 ships in the system anymore. There were over 100. The aliens were bringing more ships. They were preparing for something big. Set course for Earth, Amy ordered. Maximum speed. As the Vengeance flew toward home, Amy thought about what she would tell Admiral Chen. The aliens were stronger than anyone had imagined. Their technology was far ahead of human science. But humans weren't defenseless. The aliens could be hurt, they could be scared, and most importantly, they had made a mistake. They had attacked humans, and humans never forgot when someone hurt their family. Doctor. Helen Burke stood on the bridge and looked at the stars. She was going home to Earth for the first time in 10 years. But home felt different now. Will we win? She asked Amy. Amy looked at the 300 survivors. They had lost everything, but they were still alive. They were still fighting. Yes, Amy said. We'll win. She didn't know how, but she believed it anyway. Because that's what humans did. They never gave up. The U's vengeance arrived at Earth with news that changed everything. Captain Amy Foster stood in the war room and told the leaders what she had found. The survivors from Haven's Rest sat nearby, their faces showing the horror they had lived through. Admiral Lisa Chen listened to every word. When Amy finished, the room was silent for a long time. 100 ships, President Nathan Cole said slowly, and they're bringing more. Yes, sir, Amy said. They're preparing for something big. Dr. Sam Rodriguez studied the data Amy had collected. The alien bioships were unlike anything humans had ever imagined. Living creatures the size of skyscrapers that could heal themselves and adapt to attacks. This changes our entire strategy, Sam said. Our weapons can hurt them, but not kill them quickly. Then we need better weapons, said General Kate Murphy. She was in charge of Earth's armies and had been working day and night to prepare defenses. There's something else, Dr. Helen Burke said. All eyes turned to the colony survivor. The Zelkins aren't just conquering worlds. They're cleaning them. They see other life forms as a disease that needs to be cured. What does that mean? Nathan asked. It means they won't stop with human colonies, Helen said. They'll come for Earth. They'll come for every human world until we're all dead. The weight of this hit everyone in the room. This wasn't a war for territory or resources. This was a war for the right to exist. Admiral Chen stood up. How long do we have? Based on their ship movements, maybe 6 months, Amy said. They're gathering forces from other systems they've conquered. Then we have 6 months to build the strongest fleet in human history, Nathan said. What happened next was the greatest mobilization Earth had ever seen. Every shipyard worked around the clock. Factories that made cars and computers were changed to make weapons and ship parts. Colonel Tim Harrison was put in charge of creating something new, the Human Strike Corps. These would be soldiers trained to fight inside alien bio-ships. Tim was a tough man who had fought in every human conflict for 20 years. But training soldiers to fight living spaceships was something completely new. Forget everything you know about ship combat, Tim told his recruits. These aren't metal corridors with computer systems. These are the insides of giant animals. They'll try to digest you, poison you, or crush you. The strike corps trained with flamethrowers, explosive charges, and acid-resistant armor. They learned to fight in spaces that moved and changed, against enemies that could regrow lost parts. Dr. Sam Rodriguez worked with the best scientists on Earth to develop new weapons. The problem was simple. Human technology was based on breaking things that couldn't fix themselves. Alien technology was based on living systems that healed. We need to think differently, Sam told his team. Instead of trying to break them, we need to overwhelm their ability to heal. They developed concentrated acid weapons that would eat through alien flesh faster than it could regrow. They created viral programs that could disrupt the nervous systems of bioships. Most importantly, they learned to target the ship's healing centers. General Kate Murphy prepared Earth's defenses. If the fleet failed, the planet would be humanity's last stand. Cities built deep underground shelters. Weapons platforms were hidden on the moon and in asteroid fields. Every human needs to know how to fight, Kate told her officers. If they land on Earth, we'll make them pay for every meter of ground. The most important work happened at Luna Station, humanity's largest shipyard. Admiral Chen watched as the greatest fleet in human history took shape. 200 warships, each one equipped with the new anti-bio weapons. 50,000 sailors and marines, all trained for the kind of war no human had ever fought before. But Chen knew it might not be enough. The aliens had been conquering worlds for thousands of years. They had technology humans couldn't even understand. We're not going to win with better ships, Chen told her staff. We're going to win by being more stubborn than they are, Captain. Amy Foster was given command of a special attack group. Her job was to find and destroy the alien command ships during the battle. It was probably a suicide mission. But Amy accepted it without question. The survivors from Haven's Rest became teachers. Dr. Helen Burke trained medical teams to treat injuries from alien weapons. Other survivors taught soldiers what to expect when fighting the ZEL-KANS. Commander Jake Morrison, who had been the defense coordinator on Haven's Rest, helped design new tactics. He had watched his world die, but he had also seen how the aliens fought. They're overconfident, Jake told the war planners. They've never fought anyone who could really hurt them. That's their weakness. As the months passed, Earth transformed into a fortress. Children learned to use weapons in school. Grandparents built bombs in their basements. Everyone understood what was at stake. The fleet grew larger every day. New ships joined the Armada at Luna Station. Weapons more powerful than anything humans had ever built were loaded onto the vessels. Dr. Rodriguez made a breakthrough when he studied tissue samples Amy had collected from the alien ship. The bioships had a central nervous system, like a giant brain that controlled everything. How do we do that? We have to get inside them, Sam said. Plant devices directly into their brain tissue. This made the Strike Corps' mission even more dangerous. They wouldn't just be fighting inside alien ships, they would be performing surgery on hostile living spacecraft 3 weeks before the fleet was ready to leave. Scouts reported alien ships at the edge of the solar system. The enemy had arrived early. How many? Nathan asked during an emergency meeting. Over 300, Admiral Chen reported. They're gathering near Jupiter. The room fell silent. Earth's fleet had 200 ships. The aliens had 300, and their technology was superior. Do we have any choice? Nathan asked. We fight, Chen said. It's what we've been preparing for. The human fleet left Luna Station on a cold Tuesday morning. Amy Foster stood on the bridge of her flagship and watched Earth disappear behind them. She wondered if she would ever see her home again. The survivors from Haven's Rest stood in the observation deck and watched the fleet depart. Dr. Helen Burke held the hand of a young girl who had lost her parents in the attack. Are they going to win? The girl asked. Helen looked at the massive human fleet. Ships stretched as far as she could see, each one carrying brave people who were willing to die for their species. Yes, Helen said. They're going to win, she believed. Because she had to. Because the alternative was too terrible to think about. In space, the human fleet moved toward the enemy. Admiral Chen knew this would be the most important battle in human history. If they lost, Earth would fall. If they won, humanity would survive to fight another day. The aliens were waiting near Jupiter, confident that they would destroy the humans. They had conquered dozens of worlds. Earth would be just another victory. But they didn't understand humans. They didn't know that when humans were threatened, they became something more than the sum of their parts. They became a force that could move mountains and boil oceans. The Zelkins were about to learn what happened when you attacked humanity's children. They were about to learn about Earth's wrath. The two fleets met in the space between Jupiter and Mars. Admiral Lisa Chen stood on the bridge of her flagship and watched the alien armada approach. The Zelkin bioships moved like a swarm of insects, twisting and turning in patterns that made no sense. 320 enemy vessels, Lieutenant Ben Clark reported. He had transferred from Amy Foster's ship to serve as Chen's tactical officer. Any response to our surrender demand? Chen asked with dark humor. They're not even acknowledging our signals, Ben said. Chen smiled grimly. Good, I didn't want to. Surrender anyway. The human fleet spread out in a formation the aliens had never seen before. Instead of flying in neat lines like most species, the humans scattered like leaves in the wind. Every ship moved independently, making it impossible for the aliens to predict their actions. Captain Amy Foster commanded the Special Attack Squadron. Her job was to find and destroy the alien command ship while the main fleet kept the enemy busy. It was a desperate plan, but it was their only chance. Remember, Chen said over the communication system, we don't need to destroy them all. We just need to hurt them so badly, they decide we're not worth the trouble. The aliens attacked first. Beams of green energy lanced out from their bioships, powerful enough to cut a human vessel in half. But the human ships weren't where the aliens expected them to be. All ships, random evasive patterns, Chen ordered. Make them work for every shot. What followed was unlike any space battle in history. The aliens were used to fighting enemies who flew in predictable formations, but humans had learned to fight each other for thousands of years. They knew how to be unpredictable. Human ships dove and spun through space like angry hornets. They fired their new acid weapons and viral bombs at the alien vessels, then darted away before return fire could hit them. The bioships tried to heal the damage, but the human weapons were designed to overwhelm their healing ability. Ships that had been hit multiple times began to slow down and fall behind. "It's working," Ben reported. "We're actually hurting them, but the humans were losing ships too." The alien weapons were incredibly powerful. When they hit a human vessel, it usually meant death for everyone aboard. Amy Foster led her attack squadron toward the center of the alien formation. Intelligence suggested the command ship would be the largest bio-vessel, probably hidden behind a screen of smaller ships. "There," Amy said, pointing at a massive shape in the distance. "That thing is 3 times bigger than anything else." The command ship looked like a giant jellyfish, made of black metal and living tissue. Tentacles hundreds of meters long writhed around its body. Amy could see smaller ships being born from its sides, like a mother giving birth to her children. "How do we get through its defenses?" asked Lieutenant Sarah Kim, Amy's new tactical officer. "We don't go through them," Amy said. "We go around them." Amy's plan was insane. Instead of attacking the command ship directly, she would use Jupiter's gravity to sling her ships around the planet and attack from an unexpected angle. As her squadron disappeared behind Jupiter, the main battle continued to rage. Admiral Chen watched her ships fight with desperate courage. They were outnumbered, but they refused to give up. "Admiral, we've lost 40 ships, Ben reported. "How many alien ships have we disabled?" 63 confirmed kills. Chen felt a surge of pride. Humanity was actually winning, not easily, but winning. Colonel Tim Harrison and his strike corps waited aboard fast assault ships. Their job was to board damaged alien vessels and plant neural disruptors in their brain centers. "Remember your training," Tim told his soldiers. "These ships are alive. They'll try to kill you with their own bodies. Stay together, watch each other's backs, and plant those devices." The first boarding action was a nightmare. The inside of the alien ship was like being swallowed by a giant monster. The walls pulsed with alien heartbeats. Acid dripped from the ceiling. Passages opened and closed like mouths trying to bite the intruders. But the strike corps had trained for this. They moved through the bioship like antibodies attacking an infection. Their flamethrowers cleared paths through hostile tissue. Their acid weapons burned through barriers. Tim led his team to what looked like the ship's brain, a massive chamber filled with glowing neural tissue. As they planted the disruptor device, the ship screamed. It was a sound that came through the walls, themselves a cry of pain and rage. When the device activated, the ship went silent, dead in space. "It worked," Tim reported over the radio. The neural disruptor knocked it out completely. Similar boarding actions happened across the battlefield. Human soldiers fought their way into alien bioships and shut down their nervous systems. It was dangerous work. Many teams never came back, but those who succeeded turned the tide of battle. Amy Foster's attack squadron emerged from behind Jupiter, like avenging angels. The alien command ship was completely unprepared for an attack from that direction. "All ships, concentrate fire on the command vessel." Amy ordered. Acid weapons and viral bombs hit the massive bioship from every angle. Its healing systems, designed to repair damage from 1 or 2 sources, couldn't cope with attacks coming from everywhere at once. The command ship fought back desperately. Its tentacles lashed out, destroying 2 of Amy's ships. But the humans kept coming, kept firing, kept hurting it. "We need to get inside," Amy said. "Sarah, take us in for a boarding run." Amy's ship dove toward the command vessel's main body. Point defense weapons tried to stop them, but the ship was too badly damaged to aim properly. They crashed through the bioship's outer skin and into its interior. Amy led a boarding team toward what her scanners indicated was the central nervous system. Inside the command ship was worse than anything the strike corps had faced before. This wasn't just a ship, it was the alien fleet's brain. Every surface crawled with neural tissue. The walls whispered in alien languages. Dr. Helen Burke had insisted on joining Amy's mission, as the only human who had lived with the aliens. For weeks, she understood their biology better than anyone. "The core is this way," Helen said, leading them through passages that tried to close around them. They found the command center, a vast chamber where dozens of alien creatures sat connected to the ship's nervous system. These were the fleet commanders, their minds linked directly to every ship in the armada. The aliens looked like giant insects crossed with octopi. When they saw the humans, they made sounds like breaking glass and tearing metal. "Plant the disruptors," Amy ordered. But as her team moved forward, the chamber began to collapse. The command ship was dying, and it wanted to take the humans with it. Amy made a terrible choice. She could save her team, or she could complete the mission. She couldn't do both. "Get out of here," she told her soldiers. "I'll plant the device." "Captain, no," Sarah Kim protested. "That's an order," Amy said. As her team retreated, Amy fought her way to the neural core. Alien defenders tried to stop her, but she had brought the most powerful weapons humanity could make. She planted the neural disruptor directly into the command ship's brain and activated it. The effect was immediate. The massive bioship convulsed like a dying animal. Every alien vessel in the fleet suddenly stopped moving as their connection to the command ship was severed. Amy tried to run, but the collapsing chamber trapped her. The last thing she saw was her ship flying away to safety, carrying the survivors of her mission. Outside, the alien fleet was in chaos. Without the command ship to coordinate them, the biovessels attacked each other or fled in random directions. Some tried to surrender, but humans don't speak alien languages. Admiral Chen watched the enemy fleet disintegrate. "All ships, pursue and destroy," she ordered. The battle lasted 6 more hours. When it was over, most of the alien fleet was destroyed or disabled. The few ships that escaped fled toward the edge of the solar system. Humanity had won the greatest victory in their history, but the cost was terrible. 60 human ships were destroyed. Thousands of brave people were dead, including Captain Amy Foster. Admiral Chen stood in the wreckage of the command ship and found Amy's body. The young captain had died saving not just Earth, but every human world in the galaxy. She was a hero, Dr. Helen Burke said quietly. "They all were," Chen replied. When the fleet returned to Earth, they were greeted as the saviors of humanity. But the celebration was mixed with grief for those who hadn't come home. President Nathan Cole spoke to the world. "Today, humanity faced extinction and chose to fight instead. We proved that we will not go quietly into the dark. We will defend our children, our homes, and our right to exist among the stars." 6 months later, construction began on a new colony ship. Its destination was Haven's Rest. The world would be rebuilt, and humanity would remember what happened there. The ship was named the U.S. Amy Foster. In space, human patrol ships found scattered alien survivors. Most fled when they saw the human vessels approaching. The few who were captured told the same story. The Zelkan hierarchy had never lost a fleet before. They had never faced a species that refused to surrender. The humans had done something impossible. They had made the galaxy's greatest predators afraid. Dr. Sam Rodriguez studied captured alien technology and made an amazing discovery. The Zelkans weren't the strongest species in the galaxy. They were just the most ruthless. Many other races could have defeated them, but chose to surrender instead of fighting. Humans were different. When faced with extinction, they didn't surrender. They got angry. The galaxy would never be the same. Word spread among the stars that a new species had joined the cosmic community. A species that looked soft and weak, but fought like demons. When threatened, the Zelkins still controlled vast territories, but they gave human space a wide berth. They had learned that some prey was too dangerous to hunt. On Earth, in a small cemetery, a simple stone marker read, Captain Amy Foster. She brought Earth's wrath to those who threatened her people. Children would visit that grave for generations, and learn about the day humanity chose to fight instead of die. They would learn that no matter how dark things looked, humans never gave up, because that's what humans did. They never gave up.